Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for tonight's main event, the Handed Down Beatdown. I am, of course, Cobra, joined once again by my mixed tag team partner, Madam Tuesday. Say hello.
Hello, everybody.
All right. We are currently on the road to WrestleMania. We are, I presume, 5 weeks away from the next WrestleMania in Las Vegas again.
Mm-hmm.
With of course WrestleMania in Vegas basically being bad luck, but we know how that is. Tuesday, how are you doing today?
Doing pretty good. Road to WrestleMania. And it's like, oh, we're gonna do 2 nights of it. And it's like, and then next thing you know, it's like, we're gonna do it right after this. And it's like, uh,
You broke up a little bit.
it's just I'm not a fan of it with being it back in Las Vegas, but I
Yeah.
mean, eh,
This
eh.
it just sounds like it's just typical TKO greed because guess what? They
Yeah.
did it back to back in Vegas, and next year they're doing it in fucking Saudi.
Yep. Yep.
Uh,
Yep. Yep.
because you got to go after that blood money, that oil. Now the
Oh
U.S.
yeah.
Army, and now the U.S. Army must know our location because I just said the word oil. So thanks Tuesday, thanks WWE, thanks TKO.
Yeah. Right. Yep.
All right,
Yep.
let's get away from that for a minute, because this has been nothing but I'm having flashbacks. We are back to being injury riddled once again because two of the biggest stars in the ladies division of WWE are currently out, and that is Chelsea Green and Jordynne Grace, both injured with ankle injuries. And of course, Jordynne Grace had a nasty ankle injury on SmackDown last week. It was not pretty. It was a very badly rolled ankle. It was almost as gruesome as Sid Vicious in WCW. So, oh, yeah, it was that. It was that bad.
Yep.
And
That is true.
yeah, and as someone who could definitely attest to ankle injuries, because I've had a few high ankle sprains, you know, high ankle sprains, and I've rolled my ankle numerous times just because of how my pronation is on my feet. Um, it's not fun, because you know when you break a bone, you just it heals in 6 weeks. But when it's a ligament tear, which is what Chelsea Green's is ligament tear, it
Mm-hmm.
you don't know how long you've got.
Exactly. Yeah, as a person that has some hypermobility in joints, I can definitely attest. It is very easy to be able to get injuries like that, especially with rolling ankles, especially if it's rolling them
Yeah,
partially. Yeah, it's
yeah,
going to be a long time for recovery.
yeah. I mean, both Jordynne Grace and Chelsea Green had a bit of a selfie together in walking boots, so it was not fun.
Mm-mm.
No, no. Um, but we had a very interesting title change happen this week. Um, because it seems to me that guess what? WWE finally figured out how to use Danhausen properly. Because despite the gobbledygooker type scenario that he had in Chicago, Danhausen shows up on Raw and
Hmm.
sees Judgment Day and Dominic Mysterio having the Intercontinental title, and is like, "Oh, hey, I'm Dan Housen, and very nice. Hi Dom. Dom's like, I don't like you. You can get away from me, dork. And Dan Housen's like,
Yes.
all right, Dan, I curse you. And
Yep.
and and your new Intercontinental Champion is Penta. So
Yes. Yes. It was great. It was great. And then next thing you know, he appears on SmackDown. And as he appears on SmackDown, he was meeting The Miz. So when he met The Miz, real was it Denhausen, wanting to shake hands with The Miz. Miz said nope and not interested in meeting Denhausen. He too has cursed The Miz. So that's going to be very interesting uh, with his next uh, situation there.
yeah, I mean, Danhausen is definitely turned into the little gremlin, and literally a gremlin in that
Yes.
aspect. So I'm
It's like a little gremlin that's just been granted full power, and he's just kind of like, oh, cool, I could go do whatever I want with this. And it's like, no.
yeah, and again, I had this discussion with people at work, who actually hate Danhausen and don't understand what he's there for, and I'm like, then Penta shows, Penta wins the title from Dominic Mysterio after he cursed. The Miz gets cursed. It's like there's so much that can be done now.
Yeah.
I'm, despite a rocky start, hey, Danhausen's being used right.
Yes.
Nice done. So basically, that means that Danhausen cursed successfully.
Yes.
Uh, oh, and speaking of curses, the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, is your new WWE champion, and everybody hated that.
Yeah.
Uh, Drew McIntyre was obviously the champion. Cody wins on SmackDown, and there was a mass dislike ratio on that one. Because we all know 3 syllables deserve to be the champion. Say it with me,
Damn.
Tuesday. L.A. Knight.
L.A. Knight. Yeah.
Yeah. We're all clamoring for LA Knight to be champion because he's got the shoes of a champion. He's got the drink of a
Yes.
champion, the shoes of a champion.
He can make it. He can
He,
make it happen. He can actually do something with the title.
yeah, yeah, but no, let's give it to Cody Rhodes. Let's give it to Cody. Once
I'm
again.
telling you, is Triple H doing it? Is Triple
Yeah.
H doing it? Mm-hmm.
It just, I don't know what the hell happened with Triple H as far as his booking is concerned, because it just seems like as soon as WrestleMania 40 was done, his booking ability has gone down to shitter, and it just seems like that he has reverted back to his early 2000s form, where that sledgehammer that he used to wield actually takes the form of a shovel.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yep.
I'm just going to dig and bury you and bury you. I mean, he definitely has said fuck the fans. He has said it on more than one occasion.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And we have responded in kind. And he's wondering why we're not showing up. Why we're not showing up to live events. Why we're not showing up to watch the PLEs. And
Well,
if you have to wonder that, then you're not looking internally. You're looking
yep.
at pissing off the younger fan base and even the ones that grew up with you. And the fact that you don't
Yep.
understand that is disgusting.
Let's look at WrestlePalooza for instance, because he kept saying that it was great and it was great, but when you actually have ESPN sign that contract with you, was literally looking for something, you gave them of value. Oh, is it really? No, I'm sorry, it's it's the writing room, Triple H and TKO.
Yeah, which is interesting. You mentioned the writing room, because one of the people that exited the writing room in absolute disgust was one of his friends.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, Brian
Yep.
Armstrong, aka Road Dogg, aka Jesse
Yep.
James, aka aka his one of his best friends, basically walked out in disgust and pretty much quit being a writer in
Yep.
WWE, which I'm not surprised considering that, from what I've heard, Road Dogg wanted, and I'm just going to refer to him as Road Dogg here. Road Dogg wanted to push a lot of wrestlers that deserve to go, right? The aforementioned Chelsea Green, right?
Yeah.
He wanted to put the title on Chelsea Green, and he kept getting shot down. There were wrestlers he was wanting to push hard. LA Knight, I
Yeah.
believe, was one of them as well, and he was
Yep.
getting shot down.
Yep.
And I'm with Road Dogg here. I would absolutely quit in disgust here because it's clear that Triple H is letting all the
Mm-hmm.
power, all the money go to his head, and the product is definitely suffering for it.
Oh yeah, big time, big time, and yeah, it definitely. It's one of those. Unfortunately, like you said, it's a tale. Money and power with everything is just destroying it. Therefore, you know, it won't be long. I would say. I mean, it won't be long until, like, with AEW, just starts to become more on top than the WWE. So, it's going to be another, situation, that climb. So, Road Dogg, essentially, I would just say he just jumped ship before everything just got worse.
Yeah,
So,
that's what this was.
yeah.
And by the way, to our listeners, I do apologize. Where all the way over where Madam Tuesday lives, there isn't a good signal, so she will cut out from time to time. So we do apologize for
Sorry
that.
about that.
It's not your fault. It's not your fault. I mean, we live in a society that where we can't even get perfect Wi-Fi anymore.
Nope. Not only that, but it's where I'm at. So it's raining and
Yeah,
thunderstorming. So,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Welcome to Texas. Um, but some very interesting news that happened while we're on the road to WrestleMania. Um, the legendary tag team Demolition have officially been named into the WWE Hall of Fame by The Undertaker, uh, which basically just turns out that The Undertaker is the kingmaker when it comes to the Hall of Fame now.
Yep.
Um, let's just hope. Let me just say this. I'm glad Undertaker is doing this. I'm glad his roles in WWE have
Yeah.
advanced. He's the head booker at AAA. He's a head booker over at AAA. He's he the one that announced the WWE Hall of Fame, and of course he has the podcast with Fanatics help, with his wife Michelle McCool, which is
Yep.
actually worse than which in my opinion is worse when he was doing the 6 feet under with Mark Calloway. When it was 6 feet under with Mark Calloway, it was great. But now that it's 6 feet under with The Undertaker, it fucking sucks. Because Michelle
Yep.
McCool fucking sucks.
Yeah.
As a podcast host, she sucks. So,
Mm-hmm.
and because, and also, when it was Undertaker and Matt, they brought in the older wrestlers, if that makes sense. The wrestlers who had long retired, and we loved hearing the stories.
Yes.
Now it's focused on more of the newer type, and Michelle McCool is just walking right into it, trying to interject. It sucks. Because we want the Undertaker. We want the Undertaker. We want the Mark Calloway to peel the curtain back, if that makes sense. We don't want Michelle McCool to try to talk and interject into things that she knows fuck all about. But now I'm getting ahead of myself. Demolition. Before the New Day conquered the longest title reign in tag team history with the WWE, it was Demolition. Demolition had that. Demolition, obviously, is going to be represented by Axe and Smash, because we know that, unfortunately, two of the four members of Demolition are unfortunately passed on. Crush and Mr. Fuji have passed away, which kind of sucks. But hopefully this will allow Demolition to include Crush and Mr. Fuji as part of that collective. And not only that, but Demolition are great workers. I mean, Bill Eadie and Barry Darso were fucking amazing workers. I mean, even though a lot of people compared Demolition to Legion of Doom, basically WWE's version of Demolition were LOD at home, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Demolition kind of stood on their own, if that makes sense. So, that's one of the important things about Demolition. They're one of the great tag teams.
Agreed. To see it actually get their flowers and be able to get and be a part of the Hall of Fame, to be inducted.
Yeah, and I think the unfortunate thing that was really frustrating, really pushing that back, was Will Eadie was a part of the class action lawsuit for the concussions.
Ooh,
and Vince McMahon was not having that.
No.
Even though we all know that the concussions that concussions and CTE are related, and pro wrestling has a lot of moves in the repertoire that cause concussions, and that's just my opinion.
Yes. Yeah, and as a psych graduate, I can definitely tell you a little bit of the scientific jargon, a little bit of kind of breaking it down with it, but it is a real thing. So
yes, and I will say this, when I did go to wrestling school, to learn how to be a pro wrestler, even though I saw the warning signs my back was going, I'm kind of glad I didn't, because I'd probably be paralyzed.
Yeah.
Especially knowing what happened to my back. So there's that.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of bad things to happen, 2026 just seems to be a bad year all around. And I'm not just talking about politically, I'm not talking about globally, I am talking about in the world of wrestling. Because we have now another WCW wrestler to add to the pile of unfortunate amputation. As Conan was reported to be in the hospital and had to have his leg amputated. Conan had been dealing with some health issues as well with his kidneys, but now it has unfortunately come to a head. He had to have his leg amputated. I do not know why, But unfortunately, this is not only another member of WCW, but another member of the NWO to have their leg amputated, because Buff Bagwell earlier, I forget if it was this year or late last year, had his leg amputated.
Yeah.
And it's tragic because I grew up with these wrestlers.
It is. It's yeah.
I mean, it's almost as bad as all of a sudden, like, who's next? I hope not Alex Wright.
Oh,
like, I don't want to lose Saturday Night Fever.
No, we don't. We really don't.
Yeah, no, we don't.
Damn. And not only that, but there's a lot. It just losing a limb just really sucks. Just downright, However,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, if the only thing that you can do is just try and look at some positives in life if you can. It's just,
It always struck me weird. And
yeah.
I'm gonna say this.
Yeah.
I personally have dealt with a family member who became an amputee.
Yeah.
My grandmother actually was a double amputee. Like, she had both her legs cut.
Yeah.
Type 2 diabetes,
Yeah.
and smoking, but type 2 diabetes mainly. And
Yeah.
and I always found it weird. She was always in high spirits.
Yeah.
Like, every time I came to see her, she was always in high spirits, and I never, to this day, understood it. But talking to Buff Bagwell, or hearing Buff Bagwell talk about his amputation and how he feels about it, like, it is weird to hear him say he is glad he had his leg amputated.
Well, if it was causing him severe pain, I mean, I guess you could say it also puts into new perspective of living.
As he said, he had mass difficulty going to the toilet. Mass difficulty.
Yeah. So if anything, yeah, if that was causing a lot of pains for him,
Yeah.
and everything, then hey, it's totally understandable.
It was like mass difficulty on the toilet, mass difficulty in the car.
Yeah.
Especially if you had to be on a long car ride, brutal.
Ooh.
Brutal.
Yeah.
And now, and basically, as he said, now it's like, as soon as he hops, when he got into a car for the first time at a post amputation, he was like, "Oh, this is comfortable."
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
But
That's how it goes.
The silver lining is Buff Bagwell does plan to wrestle with an amputated leg.
Hey, more power to you. If you can do it, more power. You are a badass. You got my flowers.
I mean, the unfortunate thing is, it's not Zach Gowen amputation. Zach Gowen, it's below the joint. It's above the joint.
Yeah.
Whereas Buff's is below the joint. So, or actually no, it's Zach's is below the joint. His is above the joint.
Yeah.
So, before we wrap this up, we do want to give our affiliate tonight a shout out tonight, and guess what? Like always, it's time to bet on Duke. Yep, that's right.
Yes.
Our friends at Duke Cannon Supply Company. It's Shamrock season once again. And the Shamrock soap is out once again. Get it while supplies last. So do check that out. As always, they have free shipping on orders, $50 plus. And they don't just have the Shamrock. They have the Thick Cut Bundle. They have the Power Play Bundle. So for that hockey fan in your life, get them some soap bucks. They have deodorant. They have cologne. They have the big-ass bricks of soap. And they have the tactical bundle where that soap can fit right into a scrub pouch. But
Oh yeah.
but if you use our affiliate link, that is coming. But if it would be in the bio wherever you get your podcasts. You show the channel some love. You know, not only does Duke Cannon support Handed Down Sports Media, but they also support the troops, as proceeds on any order goes to support the VA and other military programs. Thanks, Duke Cannon. So,
Thank you, Cannon.
all right. So, we were talking earlier about AEW.
Yes.
Absolutely feeding WWE its breakfast, lunch, and dinner these past couple months. It just seems like WWE is getting in their way, or WWE is getting in its own way, and AEW is like, okay, cool, give us the keys, we'll show you how it's done.
Pretty much. Yeah, I was watching the one this yesterday. What was it? It was at NXT with Vengeance Day, and the other one that they had was Revolution, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
And it was more entertaining with Revolution than it was with Vengeance Day. So yeah, if anything, if anything with you, they're really on fire right now.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's always interesting. You know, there isn't a wrestling war going on right now.
No.
Even though WWE thinks there's still tribalism out there, but we just enjoy wrestling.
We do.
All right, we do. We don't. We want there to be competition because WWE needs to, on occasion, get its head out of its own ass.
Yes, this is one of those situations where it comes in waves. It comes in waves. You know, it's normal. Competition is normal. It is healthy. So what WWE needs to do is actually listen to the people that actually want wrestling. We love wrestling. It's just the problem is we don't like a terrible entertainment. That's the last thing you want. Your fans are what built the house.
Especially when those fans are getting priced out of the house. That's the worst part.
Yes, 100%. Because we have Raw over here in March. We're having literally 20 minutes away from where I'm at. And the tickets are like, I would say $200 for nosebleed.
Yeah, you were cutting out there to say sorry about that.
Yeah, you're good. Yeah, it's $200 per ticket for nosebleeds where I'm at.
And that is absolutely fucking disgusting, especially when the price of everything is going up and our wages are staying the fucking same. But, you know, never mind that.
Yeah.
Anywho. You know what? I'm going to call it right here. Handed Down, that is it for the Handed Down Beatdown. Of course, we got to give a special shout out to our other shows on the channel. The Gunner's Edge, The Hard Count, High Heat Velocity, our baseball podcast, and Passing the Pigskin, our college football podcast. We're working on hockey. We're working on the World Cup. We're going to get those underway. We just, names are pending. We also have a Patreon. You know, for as much as $1, for $1, you can become a member and also be a member, be a part of this podcast. That is a great deal, especially when we're pretty much a family here. And of course, we have a merch store. Check that out. And also, don't forget to check out our affiliates. We're on YouTube. We're on Spotify. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Help us grow. We're at 104 subscribers. We want to get more. We want to get more. We want to reach higher. We want to
thank you to our current subscribers. We appreciate y'all. Thank you.
Of course we do. And of course, Madam Tuesday, that's it for the Handed Down Beatdown. Ring that bell. Ding.
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 See y'all next time.